you had an iOS. So you couldn't do things like one purchase gets you all apps. And I think the reason for that was simply because they hadn't set that all up yet, like on the store backend and everything else. So they were forcing this thing. And so like Catalyst, as it was released, was pretty incomplete. They are very slowly chipping away at Catalyst's various shortcomings and problems. And so the more Apple ships their own apps, like Swift UI for it, the more they're going to feel these issues and hopefully prioritize them. So I don't personally have really any feelings on this particular app, but hey, it's a fun thing for people to use, and if you're learning and whatever else, it's easier than Xcode. So, good for them.
Yeah, it's a very polished, like the application itself is like, a very polished example of like a learning to program type thing. Because I remember like the production values are too high. It's like, this is not is it really important to learning to program to have this adorable, of an interface and these kinds of graphics? No, it's not. It's just typical Apple, like over polish, overkill, and it's great. It's all the more disappointing when I couldn't get any of my kids interested in it because they were just, at the time I tried to show it to them, they were like, not interested, don't care about the robot, don't care about typing things. Why would I ever do this? Why wouldn't I just use an analog stick to move the little robot around like these video games? Anyway. But anyway, I think if kids are into programming and they get their hands on something like this at the right age, it can be amazing. And I
admire Apple for doing this. And I think it is a really nice move to help people teach their kids, like you were saying, or teach themselves. And, the playgrounds as a scratch pad for trying, to write code, that does exist in Xcode. And it's for somebody like the three of us is a better answer. But for somebody who is, for somebody who is just trying to learn how to write code, it's so good. And I would never turn to this. I would just go to an Xcode playground. But if I was trying to show Declan how to write code, I would definitely use this. And I think that that's extremely cool. And I think it should be commended that Apple still cares enough to do this sort of thing. The sad thing about me trying to teach my kids to program is that eventually my son did get into programming more or less on his own because, another example of kids not wanting to hear it from their parents, but if they just code it on their own, they're into it, right? And now he's taking courses in high school. Like we had to install NetBeans on the Macs because it's Java. Oh, God.
And you have to install this NetBeans IDE, which is this ancient thing, and then Java doesn't come on the Mac anymore. So he turned his nose up at Swift Playgrounds, which are like, a glass of ice water in hell compared to NetBeans.
Mm-hmm.
Are they? I still think Swift is a terrible beginner's language, but that's just me, I guess.
It's better than Java, I can tell you that. And anyway, he's doing Java now. He's not doing Swift. Yes. He's doing Java in NetBeans, and I installed NetBeans. So there you go.
Yeah, I wish it existed when I was in high school.
Agreed. Can we just state publicly that you are aware that there are other better Java IDEs that exist, and that is not the point?
Oh, I'm not choosing to install NetBeans. It's like, it's like anything in school. Here's the calculator you have to buy. Here's the IDE you have to install for this class.
Exactly.
Like, he's not picking this. Like this, and it's not just NetBeans. It's like a specific old version of NetBeans that really is angry about both Mojave and